Welcome all to MLS Next Pro's most northerly outpost here in Ontario, where this evening upstart Toronto FC2 take aim at the table's top. It's the Eastern Conference's early pacemakers, Chattanooga FC, in town, and it's all about to kick off. MLS Next Pro live and in color tonight. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher for Toronto FC2, heading into this game on the back of a thrilling game in penalties decided on this very venue against New England Revolution. The same story for Chattanooga FC, and both sides trying to get back amongst the wins and regain some balance in this early part of the MLS Next Pro campaign. And for Gianni Cimini, it is that 3-5-2 again. So much threat posed by Nate Edwards and Richard Chukwu in the wide spaces, those wingbacks, and those two strikers doing a great job this year of holding down opposing back lines, allowing Toronto FC2 to explore the wide spaces. Itolo is always a stonewall at the back. And of course, Adisa De Rosario continues to hold down the position between the pipes. As for Chattanooga FC and Chris Nugent, here is the 11. Set up as a 4-2-4. You don't see this formation often on the lineup card, but you will see it played in the modern game plenty in the actual run of play. Certainly will be useful for pressing, as you can engage all of those four players in the front line with plenty of support from the midfield. Mangarov and Watson make up the double pivot. Tate Robertson has commanded the largest share of touches this year for Chattanooga FC of any player in the team. He will be tabbed with much of the creative responsibility if Chattanooga are to come on the road and secure victory today. Ready to go to live pictures. We step into the moment here in Toronto. So here we are. Everything starting to get crystallized in MLS Next Pro. Teams have announced themselves, started to discover what works for them. And this is the good bit. Again, both teams emerging into this contest after palpitating penalty kick shootouts. Their last outing. For Chattanooga, they've not scored in 213 minutes of live game action, shut out in their last two games after a rip-roaring start to the campaign that saw them go unbeaten, losing the penalty kick shootout to Philadelphia Union 2 at home in their last excursion. Unable to claim more than a single point in each of their last two. Toronto would love to keep that trend going as we are underway in Canada. This is a very direct Chattanooga FC outfit. Back to De Rosario. And again, we'll see if this is legitimately a 4-2-4 as the lineup card indicated. It will expose itself early on in the match. And so it would be something of a divergence in terms of the typical tactics of Chattanooga FC this year, but plays into their go-for-goal nature. Very front-footed, very vertical. Tate Robertson tidy on the ball as he's toppled. First foul given of the match. Thomas Noel is the center official. I think there might be a rip in the shorts potentially. Robertson's going to have to come off. Something is not to regulation. So for the time being, down to 10 men for Chattanooga. A switch of the point. Toronto stepping up to press high early on. Anytime you feature two strikers at the front, it makes it a little bit easier to do the math when you do try and extend and meet your opponent in their own ends. It will be Josh Nugent and Naquan Barrow leading the line from the start today for Gianni Cimini. Cimini in the build-up to this game was very high on how Josh Nugent has developed within the team concept this year, the 17-year-old out of the academy. Chisholm driving out of the back. Mitolo. Tate Robertson standing at the ready. I'm sure he's got the proper attire now. Here's a ball in over the top. Bit misguided. And back to De Rosario. This match featuring two of the league's best goalkeepers in the early going, and Disa De Rosario and Eldin Jakupovic. Jakupovic, the veteran goalkeeper, has posted a pretty miraculous 38 saves this year. That's tops of the league by some distance, over 10, more than anybody else. And if you are something of a nerd yourself, such as I am, if you look at the expected goals numbers, already third all-time for a total season for Jakupovic of any player in MLS Next Pro history. He's saved 6.25 goals over expected over the course of this year already, only making 8 appearances. Chukwu. Mitolo and Chisholm. A drifting ball in over the top. Nugent in pursuit, and it pops the flag up on the far side. Both these sides on the year have averaged less than 50% possession. Both teams down significantly from the year prior. Lost that one in the sun. It looked like it was Kwok who was stalking in. But just rounding out on that point, it will be interesting to see who takes the initiative with the ball at feet. Robertson. A bending run. And it's poked out of play. It was Robert Screen who was providing the option upfield. Kohler. Farid Sarsar, a well-spotted pass. The flag has risen on this near touchline though. It was Ploma who was free and behind. Pressing hard, Chattanooga. De Rosario, calm on the ball. And slices a pass into a pocket of space. Nugent feeds Barrow, who swings wide for Chukwu. Bodies into the box now. Careened away, not all the way clear. And foul is awarded in favor of Toronto. It was Anton Bossenberry who drew the contacts. And Toronto SC2 bare their teeth in the early stages, a chance from a dead ball. It was off Chukwu's left foot that the ball entered the area. And the tackle just a bit too tough for the liking of Thomas Noel. And it belongs to Richard Chukwu. Stojadinovic also standing over top. One goal on the year between the two of them. Belonging to Stojadinovic. 4 men in the barricade. It's blocked, bravely so. Second effort's half-hearted and cued clear. Nate Edwards. Toronto starting to grab some of the initiative, though. De Rosario conducting the formation from the back end, trying to fight the sunshine. That might be a pertinent point throughout this first half of play as the sun sets and the shadows gain length. It's the second time already that Paloma has been called offside. Ogwin, he's the metronome in midfield for Toronto FC2. An experienced player at this level. Has reassumed his role from the year prior in 2025. Right at the heart of everything in red. Stojadinovic spreading wide. Now it appears that Chattanooga are pressing out of a front three, and they've won the ball. Tate Robertson, who, if you can believe it, at fullback is his side's leader in passes in the final third this year. So much run through the wide spaces for Chattanooga this year. Logan Brown lofted in over the top. The flag is up again. That's already 3 times that Chattanooga FC have been called offside. Again, this has been the most direct team in MLS Next Pro by a lot of measures this year. Their vertical pass length, the average distance forward that each of their passes travel, is tops in the league at 7.5 yards. And that has been evidenced in the early going. And just for context on that distance of travel number for you for Chattanooga, only 2 teams in the league are above 7 yards on the year. Adisa De Rosario in some distress, taking his time on the ball. He's lost it to Kwok. Goal's open! And with the goal gaping, it's been knocked off course. A corner coming. Adisa De Rosario, a heavy breath. Not sure if he just didn't check the rearview mirror or what happened, but casual on the ball. An excellent tackle from Kwok to win it clean. And a retreating defender, it looked like Stojadinovic got just enough of a nibble to take it off course. Routine corner kick. It's a beautiful ball. That is breathtaking. Peter Plowman, the Dane, darts in and delights Chattanooga FC with a fantastic finish. Just a glancing header. And it looked like Toronto FC2 were trying to play the offside trap and not everybody stepped. Saw that first line of resistance move up. But Plowman allowed to stay in the onside position and power his side a goal in front. And for Chattanooga, a team that have been able to keep the clean sheets this year, something to defend early, exactly what they would have wanted. Toronto will play pursuant. Daquan Barrow. Gianni Cimini has said his favorite part of being around this group this year has been their spirit, their commitment. They've had a really good mentality throughout the course of the year, so their heads will not dip here. Chukwu. Turning through. Bosenberry, Chukwu, Barrow, Chukwu in the good area. Couldn't latch on. Kept on by Olgwen. And the whistle is blown. It's a throw. Ploman looking for more. Now it should be said, Toronto FC2 did find themselves down 3-1 after scoring first, in fact, against New England Revolution in their last game. So they will have plenty of evidence to the fact that they have the equipment to come back down a goal early. Bosenberry is interfered with. Chukwu. Much of the possession belonging to Toronto FC2 in this first quarter hour. De Rosario. Olgwen, a softening first touch, but he's given the ball away. Over the top. It will be regained at the back by Chattanooga. This portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, proud sponsor and fan of Toronto FC2. Fortier on the turn. Got to go somewhere with the ball. Picks out Chisholm. A little shove in the back there, and that will draw the ire of the center official. Attilo. A juke and a jive from Nate Edwards, who has been one of the most inspired creators in this team. An engine that just never stops. He might be required to recover here. Chattanooga take hold of possession. Olgwen, options ahead. One of them is Edwards, and he picks him out. Edwards lining his man. Edwards cutting in without efforts. It's blocked on the way. Heroic defending from Nathan Kohler. Put his body on the line and took it off its heading. And it's a corner kick. Watch this drop of the shoulder. Just ease on the ball, gracefully gliding there, Nate Edwards. And Chukwu casts his shadow from the corner flag. Well, Chattanooga scored from a corner. See if Toronto can return the favor. Chukwu, it's a useful ball. Barrow couldn't get up to it. Too physical in the area. Toronto FC2 have actually, in fact, committed the fewest fouls in the league this year, but there has been a cagey tenor so far in this one. Plomon. Back with Toronto. Stepping in to win it, though, it's Tate Robertson. Another beautiful pass, and unable to meet the one prior is Robert Screen. Barrow combining with Nugent. Provides the wide option. Barrow, just a heavy touch as it skips away from him. Plomon rampaging to win the ball high. Adisa Rosario once more. You'll see this often. He will step up and function as an extra defender and build up. Popic ushers away off the head of Chukwu. Bosenberry. Nugent, fleet of foot. Incisive pass. Edwards getting involved from coast to coast for him. And sifting back to direct the attack is Toronto FC. Bosenberry again. Glistening quality as he maneuvers by a couple tackles. The first challenge was fair, the second one was not. Barrow into stiffly. Toronto FC2 need to be cautious. They've had a player sent off in 2 of the last 4 games. Saw Bosenberry just reach for the ball, trying to vacuum it back in and force the referee to give a call there. Rolled away from him, and Barrow overextending. Looks like Farid Sarsar and Barrow hashing out their differences now. I know what Tate Robertson's talking to his manager about, Chris Nugent. Of course, Chris Nugent coming in as the caretaker last year, turned the whole thing around, nearly got Chattanooga into the playoffs last year, coming down to decision day. They missed out on goal difference. Earned himself the opportunity to take the reins in 2025, and they have been galloping ever since. Men from Tennessee, starting this year off with 5 victories already in their first 8 games. Ripped back by Toronto FC2. Bosenberry setting the tone again. Ogwen. Edwards. Chisholm. Space is getting constricted for Toronto FC2. They take their time, and taken down is Ogwen. Bit of a bailout there. It looked like Toronto FC2 were certainly in some trouble. Tolo able to navigate by 1. And coming in from behind, Kwok is the one who got too much of the man and not enough of the ball. Tight work on the ball for Toronto FC2. It does just roll away from Barrow, who goes in strong again, and another foul is given. And Dunca, he hasn't had much to do so far in possession. Scooped in behind, the flag has popped up again. That's already 3. just on Peter Ploman. It did come off the head of a Toronto FC2 defender. Nugent. And recovered at the back by Mankarov, who clears the lines. Callum Watson driving those legs to get his side forward into the attacking half. And he scrapes it wide to Tate Robertson, who has room. In behind, Ploman has got it all wrong. This time he timed up the run. Maybe he didn't. That's 4 offsides in the first 23 minutes for Peter Ploman. And charging forward, Toronto FC2. Daquan Barrow. Chukwu didn't sense Tate Robertson lurking. Sublime skill to spin away. He thought that he had been entangled there, but play allowed to continue. And spun out beyond the line. So here's that move from Chattanooga FC, and you can be the judge as to whether or not Ploman had kept himself on side. Certainly looked like he had gotten the extra step. Tried to slow down despite his best efforts. Just too much speed as he approached that gap in the back line. In a way, though, at volume like this, you never want a player to run offside. It's definitely a skill being able to time the run up once you sense the space, but there's a measure maybe of how Chattanooga FC are approaching the back line and trying to punch the gaps. Eventually, if they do keep gaining access to that space beyond the back line of Toronto FC2, they will certainly draw blood at some point. Skids away from Nugent there as he dropped in for a touch. Nugent's going to go in with too much thrust, another foul. This portion of the match is brought to you by LG, proud sponsor and fan of Toronto FC2. It has certainly been an electric start to proceedings here today, north of the border. Early goal supplied by Peter Ploman. He struggled to find himself in the game last time out against New England. Only had 7 passes despite playing the entire duration of that one. I should say against Philadelphia Union 2, excuse me. He has been much more in the mix so far in this one today. Edwards. Dispossessed. Callum Watson. Sosar. Cutting infield, Mendonca. And is tripped up, and foul is awarded once more. Thomas Knoll has been busy. That's already the 8th foul he's given. And that is in addition to the offside decision that has been prevalent today. Already a total of 6 of them, 5 of them being committed by Chattanooga. Again, that intention to be direct and stretch the final line of resistance as they do here. Tate Robertson's cross is blocked. Little chip pass. Too much of the ball available to Toronto FC2, who disrupt the move forward. Kept by the visitors, though. Callum Watson. Robertson, and into the center. Ploman, backhilling, and it runs away from Kwok. Robertson. Velcro to his foot. Mendonca. Rare chance to put their foot on the ball. Chattanooga FC, and a jumping challenge. Foul has been given. A chance to take aim for Big Peter Ploman again. Well done by Kwok to take it on himself and drive at the defenders. It'll be a hard thing for young players to have the confidence to do, to take the initiative and really run at a set defense. Now nearly at the half-hour mark. A chance to extend the advantage. We've already seen some real industry from dead balls from Chattanooga FC. And they'll play short again. Looped in, not all the way clear. And making a hash of that was Callum Watson. First touch was great. Unfortunately, the second one just ate him up a bit. Off the chest and off the outside of the boot. And Toronto FC2 will play short. Usually when you see the short goal kick like that, the keeper not taking it, it's so that they can immediately, the team building up, outlet to him and get that extra number in the build straight away. Makes it very difficult to press. Chattanooga pick up the ball and pick up the foul. That's why, even though when you see teams at times expose themselves to a little bit of humiliation, losing the ball, trying to build up out of their own ends, the persistence in that particular persuasion is derived from simple math. Again, if your goalkeeper is involved on the ball, you're playing 11v10 because the opposing goalkeeper is not going to add anything in defense. Otherwise, the goal would be vacated. And there's your lesson for the day. Kwok. Handball given. Tolo. De Rosario. This is going to sit up for Edwards, who blurs away and flies in across, and the veteran goalkeeper, Jakub Popic, is alert to the danger and hammers downfield. Cavalry arriving. Ploman in the area. Kwok stepped away for now. Edwards back with a bit of cover, but room for Robertson. On the 1-2, Robertson quilting. And a sliding tackle to take it off course. Robertson thought there may have been a handball. Chattanooga FC starting to look more and more dangerous going forward, though. Dan Robertson's done a lot of running, drawing heavy breath. Team's overall leader for passes on the year with 365. We already told you his value as a creator in the final third this year. Coming off a game in which he missed the decisive penalty in that shootout versus Philly Union 2. Very rare you get as a shooter a chance to take a second penalty, but that one got all the way to the 12th round. It's the longest shootout in Chattanooga history, the longest shootout of the year so far. and tied for the second longest in league history. Longest being 13 rounds. This portion of the match is brought to you by Chevrolet, proud sponsor and fan of Toronto FC2. And just finishing out maybe a little bit on the happenings of that match last weekend, it was Andy Rick who made a crucial save off of Robertson as the decider, much as he did in the midweek. The Union senior team in the Open Cup, making a penalty stop and helping his side secure victory over USL Championship opposition, Indy 11. That might just be the value of these added bits of experience in the shootout in MLS Next Pro. Rick had seen plenty of penalties in his lifetime in this division and was prepared to seize his moment once it came, the teenager. Line splitting pass. Intercepted by Plomon. And it falls back to Robert Screen, who darts across. Kwok. A little bit indecisive with the ball. Does flush it wide into the area. And Adisa De Rosario is calm for the claim. Toronto FC2 absorbing some body blows. Now taking the chance to get across midfield. A crushing tackle is put in and no advantage would present itself as Bosenberry was striding away. Rather that it's actually Fortier who was tumbled there. Now Edwards skating by. Unable to receive the ball on the 1-2. Ogwen. Edwards again. Fortier. A stiff header to get rid. Plomon. He's fouled and trying to maybe simmer the tensions a little bit. The first yellow card of the match. Let's see who exactly got their name taken. Looks like it was Micah Chisholm. Stop that promising attack. He is the first name to be scribbled by the center official. Rita Fazazi and Vassal Jeek, the ones running the lines today. We'll hear from Saman Sultani in about 10 minutes to tell us exactly how much stoppage time there will be. And given the stop and start nature of this first half, you would imagine it might be a somewhat significant amount, I should say. Falls for Plomon, who pulses ahead. Itolo locked up with Plomon. Kwok was arriving, the ball never got there. In space to spread the wings for Toronto FC2. Bosenberry on the break. Wide for Nugent. Chattanooga get their shape. Nugent with skill. Ogwen serves one into Edwards. And will find his feet. Sarsar in front. Edwards the byline. Screamed in across, but nobody's home. Best attacking move in some time, though, for the home side. Kwok speeding downfield, fights off a tackle. Trying to catch the keeper off his line, was really nowhere else to go with it amidst a crowd of red. And Jay Kwok is been stirring the drink in the attack. Came on, played the second half against Philadelphia Union 2. Last time out. Made 15 appearances last year with a single goal. And fighting for playing time in 2025, Min-Jae Kwok. This is his 6th start on the year as foul is awarded there. Edwards pushing the pace. Bosenberry. Ogwin. Chisholm. Chisholm. And Bosenberry and Chukwu. Not much more to say about that. Really nice patterning of play, though, from Toronto FC2 to work the ball into a threatening stance there before the ball was stood up out of play. It's a risky tackle. Maybe lucky to get away with one there as Fortier. Anytime you slide in from behind, there's always potential risk of injury. Kind of looked like Chattanooga player went over the side, though. Kwok. The overlap. Stoja Danovic escorting out of touch. It's a corner coming. With the second of the match for Chattanooga FC, and we know what happened with the first. That is the point of difference right now. Peter Ploman. A simple header from him after a well-worked routine. What else up the sleeve of Chris Nugent's crew? It's a clot of bodies right at the goal mouth. Everybody inside the penalty area. Toronto SC2 will mark this man-to-man. It's been contentious. Trying to simmer tensions. Thomas Noel. Robertson is prepared. The referee blows his whistle instantly. Saw something he didn't like. He was so quick to it, it was almost like he had basically made up his mind before the ball was even kicked. High pressure. Straight into the dugout. Hope everybody ducked. It looks like everything's right where it should be. On the spin. Tidy twists from Bosenberry. And now Chukwu. Itolo gets forward and fashions himself an outlet. Ogwin, this is confident build. Scaling the scaffolding, Toronto FC2. Nate Edwards, a settling first touch. Unable to skip away, though. It's been a battle between he and Farid Sarsar all game long. Sarsar wins that engagement. In the way. Toronto FC2 trying to get the goal back ahead of the break. Slid away at the end line. Bolsonberry. Barrow with a check of the shoulder. Ogwen. Itolo. Hammers one across the sky. Tay Robertson's up for it. Second ball is scooped up by Robert Strain. And it's a Chattanooga throw. Ogwen attaching himself. It's Nugent. Wide of him is Nate Edwards. Barrow in the middle. Went for the spectacular. It's a clean tackle. Robertson in a bind and works himself out of it brilliantly. Ploman, not many back for Toronto FC2. That's a beautiful ball. Kwok screaming for it in the center screen. Kwok taking it on himself. Tremendous! Min-Jae Kwok, majestic. The counter covers the whole width and breadth of the field. Plowon struggled to sort it out before swapping wide. And Kwok, time enough to hatch an inspired plan before slotting one in to the bottom corner. Chattanooga at their best. For the first time this year, Min-Jae Kwok has found the back of the net in the league. And as we ebb away toward the interval, Toronto FC2 will kick off and have 1 minute to try and draw something back. That will change the halftime team talk for Gianni Cimini. Whose side had regained some composure after a bit of a high moment for Chattanooga over the 10 minutes that preceded what we just saw. Adisa De Rosario. And again, Toronto FC2 did come back from a pair of goals down in their last game. It's going to be a tall task against the team atop the Eastern Conference today if they are to do so. At the break, 2-0 Chattanooga FC, well ahead and well good for it on the road against Toronto FC2. We'll see what Gianni Cimini has in store in the second half, but for now, we step aside. Much to come here at halftime.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake, and I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace, I live how I like, so looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action. attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Welcome back. We've got plenty to come here at halftime. Those first half highlights are baking in the oven, and they'll be ready a little bit later. But first, Anne-Marie Aguilar went to North Carolina to visit with the Carolina Core. She sat down with head coach Donovan Ricketts, and here is this week's report.
Welcome to this episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar, and today I'll be talking to Carolina Core FC's head coach, Donovan Ricketts. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm good. You?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. Well, it is your first season as head coach of Carolina Core FC. What has this experience been like for you?
Gray hairs, headaches. So as a player, I didn't know that players give head coaches this much stress, or else I would have been a better player.
Oh my goodness, I love the honesty.
No, but it's fun. It's fun. It's like, it's the job, the game that we grew up playing. So now to be on the other side, it's an experience. It's a different kind of experience, but it's not much of a drastic change because it's still the same game.
When did you know that coaching was something you wanted to pursue?
I didn't know. I think coaching found me rather than I found coaching. Oh. Because if you ask anybody that I played the game with, no one would think of me as a head coach, because I would just be, once practice is done, that's me just being done. But then after I started to get older, and then it just, I don't know, maybe from the years of experience, you just started talking the game a bit more, and then you said, I didn't know I had all this knowledge.
And well, you played alongside some of the biggest names in soccer, like Landon Donovan, David Beckham. What is something that you learned during your time with them that now you find yourself applying into your coaching career?
No, I wouldn't say just from them, but when you play with a certain caliber of players, the thing that I found most was those players were always the humble players. They were always humble, hardworking, so they put extra time in to ensure that they were the best at what they could be. So now it's just the message you send to every player that you have. It's like you have the ability, but sometimes in order to be the best or to be the greatest, you have to put extra work in.
And you've been with this team since its inaugural season. What does it mean to you to have been with this organization from the very beginning?
No, because when I played, I was with Montreal. I was with them for their inaugural season as well. So I was with Orlando for their inaugural season as well. So I think I'm a inaugural season journeyman, so to speak.
We love that.
So it's always a good experience. You see something from the very inception to see what it can grow into. So it's a good experience.
That's phenomenal. And last year, this team just missed the playoffs. But now, as the leader of this team, what are your expectations for this season?
No, definitely we want to make the playoffs, because everything that we did last year, we want to improve on everything that we did last year. And making the playoffs would be a step in that direction as well. And then once you hit the playoffs, anything is possible, because when we start the season, everybody dreams of winning the championship. So you don't get that chance if you don't make the playoffs. Our goal is to make the playoffs first.
Well, Coach, best of luck to you this season, and thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be chatting with. For now, I'm April Marie Aguilar. We'll see you next time.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, 'cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake, and I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace, I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action.
I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. The jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Back here in Toronto, but there's more to report from Carolina, where Henry Aguilar has our very own Facundo Canetti, wide man and attacker for Carolina Corp, in this week's file of the player profile.
Hola y muchas gracias por acompañarnos hoy en este nuevo episodio de Player Profile. Mi nombre es April Marie Aguilar y hoy tengo el gran placer de poder platicar con Facundo Canetti de Carolina Core FC. ¿Qué tal, Facundo? ¿Cómo estás hoy?
Buenas tardes, muy bien, gracias a Dios. ¿Cómo están ustedes?
Yo estoy muy bien, gracias a Dios. Bueno, ¿qué ha significado para ti, ya siendo que has estado aquí con Carolina Core FC desde el comienzo?
No, la verdad, para mí una experiencia muy linda. Empezar en el primer año del equipo y no, muy bien, la verdad.
Y tus estadísticas el año pasado fueron bastante impresionantes. Aparte, fuiste nombrado mención de honor en el top 11 de MLS NEXT Pro. ¿Qué podemos esperar de ti esta temporada?
No, la temporada pasada, gracias a Dios, me fue muy bien. Gracias a mi compañero, el trabajo que hicimos en el año. Y este año esperar lo mismo, tratar de superarme en los goles, en asistencia y poder ayudar lo máximo posible al grupo.
Y el año pasado estuvieron muy cerca de clasificar a los playoffs. Como equipo, ¿cuáles son las expectativas que ustedes tienen para esta temporada?
Sí, el año pasado nos quedamos a 2 puntos de clasificar. Lastimosamente perdimos el último partido, pero bueno, este año vamos con muchas ganas y el objetivo de clasificar a playoff.
Y tienen un nuevo entrenador, Donovan Ricketts, a quien fue asistente el año pasado. ¿Cómo piensas tú que te ha ayudado a desarrollarte con tu tiempo aquí en Carolina Core FC?
No, la verdad, muy bien. Gracias a Dios estamos entendiendo lo que quiere, lo que transmite el entrenador, así que estamos haciendo lo posible para sacar los partidos adelante.
Bueno, pues muchas gracias, Facundo, te lo agradezco.
Gracias.
Bueno, pues hemos terminado este episodio de Player Profile. No se lo pierdan a la próxima para ver con quién estaré conversando. Por ahora soy April Marie Aguilar y nos vemos a la próxima.
Should be a fun season of MLS NEXT Pro.
Action.
it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
The second half here in Toronto, nearly having arrived. It's 2-0. We'll show you exactly how we arrived at this stage. In fact, Chattanooga FC in full force from the opening gun here on the road and back to the form that served them so well in the early stage of the season. An early indication, maybe some foreshadowing of what was to come. Disa De Rosario, a bit casual on the ball. Kwok unable to punish him. He would later on in the game, but not here though. This would be the breakthrough. Tate Robertson placing one right on the forehead of Peter Plowman, who rises highest to connect for his third goal of the year. And here is Tate Robertson fashioning another chance. This time Plowman running in behind. He didn't get hold of it, all of it. It wouldn't have mattered. He was offside. And Robertson again, starting things up, this time from deep in his own end, outletting to Plowman, who turned well and off his left foot. Forced one forward. Minjae Kwok would come ahead, shuffle in onto that right foot, and rifle one in from range. And that is where we sit, 2-0. And the stats that back it up. Pretty good in the conversion department for Chattanooga. They've scored on 2 of their 3 shots on target. The fouls, a big number to keep circled there, as 19 in the first half will definitely tell you an indication that it was pretty physical in the first 45. You can expect much more coming up into this second half of play as Toronto try and chase it. As for what's coming up around the league, the upcoming schedule, Saturday, you'll see Carolina Core, who was the subject of our halftime coverage, up against a very good Huntsville City FC side. Will be a real test in that one. Then on Sunday, Philadelphia Union 2 and Columbus Crew 2, 2 of the best teams in this league, clash at 3 p.m. The Town and St. Louis City 2 bring up the rear guard on Sunday at the weekend at 7, and much more coming throughout the course of the week. You can see this Toronto FC2 bunch in action against New York City FC2 on Thursday. Huntsville City FC will play Chattanooga FC on Saturday, May 17th. Well, there's a Florida derby there between Miami FC and Orlando City B, and a couple of changes being made by Gianni Cimini. Looks like Nolan Jean-Marie will come on, as well as Hassan Ayari. Ayari has been one of the better creators in this outfit for Toronto FC2, not only this year, but last year as well. 2 assists on the year to go with a goal and 7 appearances. Nolan Jean-Marie, a chance to impact the game as well. And joining them will be Patrick McDonald, MLS Super Draft selection in the 3rd round in 2024. 4-year player at the University of Indiana, former All-Big Ten first-teamer in his junior and senior campaign. Just still waiting for confirmation on those subs as they prepare to come in. The 4th official working it out. The scorers table. Just doing all the paperwork. I's and T's in that. And now the 4th official is ready to put the board up, and does. So Fortier comes off after 45 minutes, as well as his midfield partner, Anton Bossenberry, who had a pretty sizable impact creatively in the first half. And a shuffling of the deck for Gianni Cimini. Much work to do for Toronto FC2. 45 minutes left to try and dig themselves out. with a goalkeeper like Eldin Jakupovic in goal, it will be a tough test for Toronto FC2 if they are to get back into the game. Jakupovic sends us in motion into the second 45 here in Toronto. Jean-Marie Nolan getting the chance at a run out here. What kind of stance he can take in the game. Mankarov. Didn't call his name much in the first half. Chance to charge forward. Kwok, the one who made it 2-0. Mankarov can't jump it back in. Edwards. He wins the whistle. We told you fouls were a theme in the first half. That puts us up above 20 for the game so far. Toronto FC2 working through the gears. Jean-Marie Nolan. What of him is Iyari, and Edwards all the way wide and headed off the line. One of the best defensive plays you will see at this level or any level. Nathan Kohler says no. It looked like it was all coming up daisies and roses for the side in red straight away in the second half. That was going to make its way into side netting. And one taken off the board, the knuckle applied on the corner. Second entry, it's a rickety first touch from Iyari. Edwards stabbing away, a throw in to come to stop the counter. In a game in which his side have already scored twice, Nathan Kohler defensively steals the show. Mankarov wind suddenly in the sails of Chattanooga FC. Sheldon over the top. Plowman scrapping for it. Tate Robertson setting the beat. Sarsar. It's a careless giveaway. Jean-Marie Nolan skipping away into the box, still Nolan, a soloist act and unable to provide the final punch. How about that though for an introduction? Jean-Marie Nolan pronouncing himself as his side push ahead. Across the face and again sticking in for a sliding intervention is Nathan Kohler. It's all opening up for Toronto. It starts with the wide man. It looked like Iyari dropping in. As Chukwu got ahead of him. It's been a scary start to the half for Chattanooga, and it may get worse with in swing. Hanging high over the goalkeeper. Pumped away. Stojadinovic and Edwards on a diagonal. Stojadinovic made in the channel as Edwards. Ogwin ahead. Stojanovic was cutting infield. The ball runs to the touchline. Ogwen on a dime, and Edwards. A tangling. There's a very vocal contingent of Chattanooga fans who have taken the chance to punch their passport, it appears. Robertson so smooth on the ball. Scooped in behind. Ploman backs off. He was offside. Not sure if they got him or Callum Watson, and it matters not. John Marie Nolan probing into a pocket of space. Can cut himself free of Callum Watson. And Ploman is the outlet again. Bounce from the ball. It's a free kick coming. Maybe it is a throw. It looked like the referee had pointed for a free kick, but taken out of touch legally there. Ploman holding it up, using that frame. Ushered into the area, it got out over the line. Rosario building up Ogwen. This portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, proud sponsor and fan of Toronto FC2. De Rosario scrapes the sky with a long ball. Edwards was the aim. McDonald. Ogwen. De Rosario out to meet it. Micah Chisholm being asked to drive with the ball. He does. And now Yari slashes to the near side. Edwards steady on the first touch. Not as steady on the third. Showed too much of the ball to Farid Sarsar. McDonald snaking. Yari. McDonald back wide. Chukwu. Ogwen. Yari's lost a shoe. Barrow bouncing off one. He's won a free kick. Nathan Kohler is the one called. It belongs to Pat McDonald. Kohler an initial shove, and after Barrow put himself into a spot where he could receive the ball ahead of him. A little bit too much contact. Yari is tying him tight after losing a shoe in the build-up to that moment. And easily, you would imagine here, might have ideas of going for goal. Hassani Yari and Pat McDonald. 4 men in the wall. Yari takes a glance, it's a corner. Jakub Popic applauds the effort from the barricade. Toronto, though, turning the temperature up. Made 3 subs at the halftime interval and have taken hold of the game, down 2 goals. McDonald swings it into the center, Edwards. Yari presenting, and McDonald again. This is Hassani Yari. McDonald. Angling over the end line. Hot to handle. Jakub Popic works it out. A real battle to win the ball. Plowman's gone down. And play has stopped. Not sure if they got Chisholm on a foul or if they're stopping play because of a potential head injury. Let's see. See Plowman get a chest onto it. There's a little bit of a chicken wing, and he goes down. Immediately, the referee signals for the medical crew to come on. Dialogue being had now. So Chisholm understands what he may have done there to cause the foul. And play will be allowed to commence. And it won't be from a drop ball, so assumably it was a foul given. Sosa, strong strides. Mangrove. Mangrove. Out off Mendonca. It's a brief series history between these two. Chattanooga have had the better of it, having won the most recent meeting between these two sides. On this pitch, late last year, 5-1. Edwards looking for some late served revenge as he cuts into the box, and it's headed off. And Chattanooga have ultimately been the one with the extra points in each of the prior 2 engagements between the sides. Victorious in a shootout in the first affair last year. They've returned to the center of the crime, that 5-1 thrashing from a year ago. repeated proceedings. Stojadinovic. Chisholm. Chattanooga more than content to allow their opponent to knock the ball around in their own half. Edwards, a curling run. Right-minded advance from McDonald as the ball is stabbed away for a throw. Set to throw it in. Edwards. Kwok. Pumps it ahead. It's sniffed out by Atolo. Hasanayari. Hasanayari goes for goal. It's parried wide. It would take something super special to beat Jakub Popic from that range. Another save to the catalog as Hasanayari was able to just carve half a yard and get a shot to fly. It's another chance from the corner flag. In by Ayari, over everybody and carrying out towards the end line. And certainly Toronto FC2 carrying the game now. Keegan Insolent has been recalled to the dugout. We'll see if he might get a chance to get in on the action. Toronto went it high. It's Daquan Barrow. Barrow spots the oncoming runner, and I don't think that's where the ball ended up. Just running through the gap was Jean-Marie Nolan, and it just ricocheted off his foot. I think the pass was meant to go to the spare man waiting on the wide side. And a change being made by Chattanooga. It's Keegan Anselin coming on for the goal scorer, Kwok. And Minjae Kwok steps out of the contest, having provided the insurance his side now defends. Made it 2-0 just ahead of halftime and changed the whole thing up. That's his first goal of the regular season campaign. Anselin comes in with 3 goals on the year in all competitions to go along with 2 assists. Of course, Chattanooga FC a chance in the Open Cup. Played 2 rounds of that competition before being beaten at home by USL side Chattanooga Red Wolves in what was a thrilling display of exactly how much investment that community has down in Chattanooga, just off the Georgia border in Tennessee, into this sport already. In fact, in conversation about the US Open Cup, it would be unfair to mention the amount of MLS Next Pro presence across the competition. Many graduates and players that are splitting time, making big impacts all up and down the contest. Kevin Sullivan making his senior starting debut in that competition against Indy 11. You could argue he was the best player on the pitch that day. Floated in towards Edwards. Of course, if we're talking about the Open Cup, we'd be remiss to not mention Gustavo Carballo, who had a brace against Tampa Bay Rowdies, as a couple changes are being made by Toronto FC2. Costa Iadis coming in. He'll replace Edwards, who put in a shift bombing up and down the wing. Malik Henry will complete the switching of both wing backs. Chukwu coming off. That should be all 5 substitutions for Toronto FC2 done and dusted. Glance off the head of Daquan Barrow. Down by McDonald. See how deep the line of engagement gets here for Chattanooga FC. As the game goes on, drawing closer to the finish line. A spin and a fired flashing cross that just bounces in front of goal before heading out of play. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ritz, proud sponsor and fan, Toronto FC2. Did you know if you take a Ritz, you can take the outside edge and use it to cut cheese? Just a fun little fact for you. There's a foul. Back rolling. Kohler. Forward it goes. Mingrov. Plowman plowing wide. In for Anselin. That required somebody to step up. And filling those shoes was Malik Henry. Otherwise, that was on course. The boot of Keegan Anselin. Important to draw attention to exactly how much size is on the field now at the front for Chattanooga. 6'3" in Plowman and Keegan Anselin at 6'4". Stepping in is McDonald. Pat McDonald pushes in a ball, was aimed towards Barrow. I believe that was Kohler again, doing the defensive work, and in a match in which his side has scored a pair of goals by different hands, you could argue a center back in the form of Kohler has maybe been man of the match. Ogwen. Stoyanovich rises and he's put to ground. Foul given. This is good interplay. Ayari waited with precision for Daquan Barrow, who circles into the corner. Malik Henry. McDonald returned to Henry, who races and reaches it ahead of the end line. McDonald serves in a cross. Put back across the frame and save, taken off the bar. Jakub Popic. They are singing his name. A stellar stop. Iadis. A sculpted delivery, and that man puts an end to the move. Goodness gracious, what a save. Worthy of a second glance. It was stricken straight into the ground and was on its way to arc into the back of the net from Daquan Barrow, who's bereft. It's not for lack of trying. Toronto FC2 have been banging on the doorstep the entire second half. They just had 2 goals taken away from them by incredible defensive work. Kohler stealing the first, and Jakub Popic, the most recent to thieve away a tally from the home side. Still 20 minutes left in it, more than enough time for things to really get shaken up. The goalkeeper will stop it at feet. Sosar, who stepped up well, functioning as a left back today. Mangrove is the one that is fouled there. Again, Toronto SC2 will have to remain with this 11 on the field for the rest of the game. They used all 5 substitutions. A strong-handed tackle at the back from Chisholm. He takes it into the corner, puts himself in a bit of an awkward spot. He's giving the ball away. Tate Robertson. Waiting on the last man was Mangarov. Just not enough space to angle in. And driving out of the back. Iliadis is off the ground and no foul is awarded. And off the last man, Anselin. Couldn't play provider. Sosar. Bit of keep ball from Chattanooga. Anselin chopping one back in. Tate Robertson was arriving on the scene. Roped out of touch again. Chattanooga happy to claim some control of the contest, though. Had been pinned in. It was going on about 20 minutes. Henry, Ogwin, De Rosario, and Itolo. A beaming ball. Iliadis. A slight pause from McDonald. Straight to Novak. Making the calculations. Itolo. Connecting the dots. Toronto FC2. Daquan Barrow stops it up, and that breaks up the rhythm. What a touch. Mendonca. Robertson. And Robert screen. And looping in, Anselin has kept his run on side. Plowman in the middle, Anselin takes it on, and it's saved by Adisa De Rosario, who hasn't had to do much today. Steps up and keeps his side in the game. Anselin did a really nice job of navigating his way back into an onside position before the ball was played. That back line of Toronto FC2 in transition, staying narrow. Lobbed into Anselin. Good footwork. Ultimately undone though, as Malik Henry stepped in. This portion of the match is brought to you by MasterCard, proud sponsor and fan of Toronto FC2. That was a risky ball. Not enough height to get over Plowman. And it comes right back to Plowman. He can't take the sting out of it. Itillo. Spots to Quanbero. Ogwen. Ayari. A change of pace. Ayari fighting through tackles. And ultimately it's Anselin who ends the move. Away. Every clearance will feel better and better for Chattanooga FC. On the run, Robert Strain. He's joined in the wide space. A shove in the back. The referee has said no. It probably would have had to have been a sending off had the official decided to call foul. Iliadis was the one who got the contact. McDonald now scrapes by the tackle of Bendunka and curves one out wide for Malik Henry. Henry, Ayari, back to Henry. Ayari got the ball stuck up underneath his feet. Toronto have consistently applied pressure in useful spaces. There just hasn't been that final piercing action. Ayari, and walled off by Tate Robertson. Callum Watson. Dug out. There's some tugging of cloth, and that will be a yellow card. Micah Chisholm dragged back. And it looks like a change is being prepared as we take a look back at the yellow card. And you can't do that. Bit cynical. Keeps Chattanooga from a compromised position in the trading of possession, and it's Milo Gravanyan who comes on. Logan Brown was filling in at center back. We'll see if Sarsar steps back there. Gravanyan has been such a huge part of the attack for Chattanooga this year. A really bright player that's played at multiple levels. Again, the team's leader in overall share of touches this year at 10.4. One of them at least, Tate Robertson being the other. Ayari coasting one in, and easy pickings. Screen. Snatched back, Ogwen, a heady tackle. John-Marie Nolan immediately injected himself into the game after coming on. He's gone quiet since, and he's unable to provide inspiration there, as foul has been given after no advantage presented for Chattanooga. 10 minutes left. Chattanooga have seen this out quite well. A couple spikes of the heart rate, but for the most part, they've been in firm control. They're used to running and chasing. They've got the lowest number of total possession in the league this year, just north of 42%. Plomont. Looks like he may have caught one on the back of the head, but play allowed to continue. Kohler. Gravagna, his first real touches, and it's a surgical pass in behind. Plomont already has one, trying to make it two. It just rolls away. Barrow leading the charge. A grab back tackle from Sarsar. Was as if he bent over and picked it up himself with his hands, the way he just took the ball away, and a yellow card's been given to Daquan Barrow. Just trying to keep it clean here at the end. Task already tall enough without going down to 10 men if you're Toronto. Worth repeating maybe in this moment that Toronto FC2 have had a player sent off, and 2 of the last 4 given. Should also be added, Reed Fisher was shown a straight red for something said in the shootout against New England. That's why he is not in the team today. It's a bit of a lazy pass. It's picked off. No look feed in behind, but Plomont had slowed down as the ball had stopped up and couldn't get going again. Chattanooga need to turn it up. Dig in defensively as Toronto FC2 try and chase back the deficit that they now face. Sanayari off the head, then off the head of Barrow. Got to get clear, and they do. Ayari, time to turn, picks a pass. Shot from distance and lofting over the target. Sweet seconds ebbing away. And wisely played into a whole bunch of space and short for Gravagna. Mangarov. Hello, Gravagna. And Dunca passes that rhyme, just pretty triangles until the ball that goes astray. Imagine there will be much in the way of stoppage time, both goals occurring in the first half. Ogwen. Screen. Anselin supplied with the ball, but can never get it to settle. A winding run from Stoyadinovic. Malik Henry cuts himself free, curls in a cross over the head of Barrow, and Garvanyan nearly helped it into the back of his own net. Sure, his stomach dropped. Helpless with the ball already in flight off his hat. It all starts with that deft bit of movement on the ball from Malik Henry. It was a well-sculpted delivery. They will need similar supply here at the corner. They're not going to get it. Didn't get over the first obstacle. Toronto swapping the passes around, stepping in. Ayari is able to keep it, but only for a second. Tick, 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 tick. Chisholm. Ogwin. Henry. This is Malik Henry with speed. Blurring by Robertson. Robertson back in front now. Hassan Ayari. Off the toes of Barrow. Never a chance. Marcus Naglesta and Colin Thomas coming on for Chattanooga to shore up the rear guard. And the first goal scorer, Peter Plowman, will make exit. He is revoked to a guard of honor. If it does stay here, it was Min-Jae Kwok and Peter Plowman who supplied everything needed for Chattanooga to secure all 3 points on the road. Both have been taken out of the game now. That's a nice ball. McDonald getting in gear, phasing away. Off the outside of the boot. It's in! Game on! Jean-Marie Nolan nails one into the bottom corner and ignites the interest again for Toronto FC 2. McDonald with the extra effort to put himself in position to provide. And Jean-Marie Nolan swings his leg, stands his side squarely back into the competition. And suddenly the tension is tight again. Toronto FC2 have the sense. Ayari upfield. McDonald, a loose touch, does regain. Iliadis into the box, away. Don't want to not acknowledge this. That's the first goal for Jean-Marie Nolan. What is his third appearance for the club, the youngster. And it could be a historic one if Toronto FC2 are bold enough to go forward and get this back level. Wide for Henry. On the ropes, Chattanooga. In by Henry. Barrow was lurking. Free kick. Mighty menace. In red as Anselin is the offender. Everybody on bated breath, pins and needles as Anselin went in sturdy. McDonald, who got the assist to get the first goal, is the one who draws the contacts. He very well may be the one who takes this free kick. It will be him and Ayari. The board might go up before this is taken. There are two Chattanooga players that are preventing this free kick from being put into the area. And a yellow card is being shown to the dugout of Chattanooga. 4 minutes, more than enough with the tempo Toronto have taken up. If it is level at the end of what is given, it will be straight to penalties. Both these sides coming off matches that found themselves in those deep, dark waters. Much distance to cover to get there, though. It would take something special to beat Jakub Popic from here. Hassaniari over the wall, it's punched away! Jakub Popic. Strong hands and strong nerve. The league save leader comes up with a big one. It's a goal kick. Release, at least for a second, as Chattanooga fend off that advance from Toronto FC2. Second ball is gobbled up by Toronto FC2. McDonald. Scraped wide. On the run, Ayari poking one forward. Henry, not even enough pace to catch up there. 2 minutes now. Jakub Popic milking every moment. Goalkeeper with Premier League expertise, providing some mastery of the dark arts in the late stage. One high. Colin Thomas fanning wide into the area. Disa De Rosario strums up the counter. McDonald pumping pistons and peeling one wide. Iliades over that Abero, cued away just barely, acrobatic in that bit of defense from Farid Sarsar. McDonald, a swivel. Hassaniari, Malik Henry encroaching on the area. Ayari stemmed away. And slashed to the other end. It will be recovered by Barrow, who mishits it. Thomas has fresh legs and plenty of ideas of chasing this ball back, forcing a couple extra seconds off the clock. Last chance alone. Door swinging for Toronto FC2. Malik Henry. Malik Henry cutting it across. And Yari wins the second ball. Ogwin now. Over the head of Barrow. Losing the balance is Iliades. It is a corner kick that will be allowed to be taken for Toronto FC2. It must be now. They've trailed the entire half. We're down 2, now down 1. Goalkeeper's up. Patrick McDonald with in-swing, with interest. Near post ball, ducked away. The end. It required endurance, but Chattanooga enough at the end of the day to withstand a late barrage from Toronto FC2. Proof positive of what this team has done all year and what has lifted them to the table's peak in the East. All 3 points secured on the road. Eldin Jakupovic is the man of the match. This save stemmed the tide. He has been excellent all year, excellent a day. And he is the man of the match here in this one for Chattanooga, as he so often has been this year. Folks, it was a thrill show. What a game. Toronto means serious business in 2025. Serious interest in a playoff push this year, but Chattanooga FC are proving exactly why. They are the cream of the crop in MLS Next Pro's Eastern Conference so far this season. Folks, we set to step aside. It is 2-1, Chattanooga FC back amongst the wins here in this one north of the border. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, again, I'm Peyton Gallagher. Once again, our final score is 2-1. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLS Season Pass, Apple TV, and MLSNextPro.com. Folks, good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.